Good afternoon. This is Media Center Ukraine, Odessa, and we continue with the briefing dedicated to readiness of mobile network operators for possible blackouts in the autumn-winter period. Our speakers are Ivan Tymoshenko, Acting Director of the Odessa Regional Department of Digital Development, Information Policy, and Cyber Defense of the Odessa Military Regional Administration, Kyrylo Lazarev, Head of Technical Center Odessa via Ukraine, and Igor Zadorozhny, leading mobile network planning engineer at Lifecell LLC. Thank you very much for being with us today. This is a very interesting topic. We remember those problems with mobile network connection last autumn and last winter when Russian occupiers tried to destroy our infrastructure and there were no mobile connection. What was the problem? The question is to Ivan. Good afternoon very much. And first, I would like to thank Media Center Ukraine Odessa for this briefing, and I would like to thank the representatives of business who have joined us. And without them, it would have been impossible to ensure stable mobile network connection. Last year, we really had some challenges, but we closely cooperated with our partners from business circles, and we worked together to expand the network coverage. And for example, Kyivstar was involved in the process, building a new 48 towers, Vodafone 9, Lifecell from 18, and they continue their work. And now we have information from the companies that they will expand the coverage for it to reach 100%. As for outages, we take measures, and our main focus is to ensure alternative power supply. So we use alternative sources as a backup for substations that can be damaged. And also in the field, we are going to use generators, and as it following the Cabinet of Ministers, the minimum period ensured by our joint efforts should be around 72 hours. Our partners have taken measures in the form of generators, and also their stockpiled diesel fuel or other types of fuel to ensure 72-hour operation. They also took measures to substitute old accumulators, and now there are new technologies, like, for example, lithium accumulators that allow to charge everything faster. And we try to forecast different situations. For example, there is a breakdown of generator, and we need to ensure enough charge for smooth operation, to have time to inform teams of engineers from mobile network companies, for them to have time to arrive to the place of damage and to deal with the consequences. You've mentioned that mobile network operators introduced additional towers, 48, 9, and 18. Do you mean the territory of the Odessa region? Yes, and I can give floor directly to representatives of the companies for them to share more details. And I think they should praise themselves because they continue their development, and they fully understand that it is very important for people to have access to information, to get in touch with their relatives in difficult situations. and mobile network operators represent socially responsible businesses, and they fully understand their responsibility in ensuring proper communication of people. I would like to thank them for that, and I'm really sure that they will do everything possible to ensure smooth operation. And we, the representatives of the Odessa Regional Administration, coordinate the activities to ensure sustainable connection in the Odessa region. And the question to the representatives of mobile network operators: last autumn, no one was ready to such heavy shelling, leading to the consequences that we faced as challenges. Can you say that this year you have already learned on the lessons of previous year? Would you prevent such breakdowns in connection? Thank you. First, I would like to thank the Odessa Military Regional Administration because, to say the truth, we were ready, but not in advance. We were ready to that just a few days before that started, when the representatives of regional administration brought us together and informed us about such possibility. But no one expected that the shelling would be that heavy. But that happened, and luckily we had 5 days to prepare. We developed strategy and tactics, what we should do to ensure at least minimum level of connection, and then to increase our services in the city of Odessa and in the Odessa region. We were getting ready, we continue getting ready, and we will be ready. But we cannot anticipate all the measures that our enemy is going to take. But we're buying new generators, new batteries. We have changed a bit our network. We introduced new basic stations. And all of us should understand that we should take measures, and we must take measures, but sometimes not all people understand that +1 station will help us in case of blackouts or outages. This will help us to increase the capacity of our network. So we are getting ready to ensure smooth operation for at least 5 hours. We have bought batteries for our stations. During that period, we should ensure connection for main administrative venues. And then we should also bring the diesel generators. Local self-governance bodies support us a lot, and local communities, they provide help to us. And we should not only install generators, but we should ensure the filling it every 4 or 5 hours. Representatives of local administrations and police officers meet with us to organize our activity. This is our main goal, for us to have connection, to get in touch with our relatives, the police, the state emergency service, and ambulance. Connection is very important. And now we understand that this is our priority, both in the battlefield and in the home front. Thank you. Igor, the floor is yours. Before the attack started on the infrastructure, we had developed a concept, including not only introduction of few basic stations, but optimizing the network to minimize the numbers of nodes that we should protect. And then, step by step, we increased the capacity of batteries on the basic stations. And of course, we installed new diesel stations and generators. We bought new generators to ensure better mobility and better response to the challenges that might be ahead. We have also installed a significant number of lithium batteries that charge faster and ensure better capacity for the whole network. That's all. And the question about mobile internet, because back then it was very difficult to get access through 3G or LTE. So we could call, but just in 20 minutes after the blackout started, it was very difficult to have mobile internet. Have you taken this in consideration? Have you solved the issues? If you allow, I would like to answer. And we understand that there are some technical issues. And when one of the basic towers is out of operation, it increases the burden on the tower which is still there. And this is one of the part of the answer. The technical details can be shared by my colleagues. And we understand as administration that people cannot be left without information. That's why we have been developing an alternative solution for the development of passive optical network that allows, even during outages, to ensure smooth access to the internet. We understand that we cannot leave providers aside and just to rely fully on the mobile internet. But we have been involving other partners to this process. For example, we have been working with the representatives of big retail shops, big supermarkets, who have big parking lots where they can provide access to their internet. That will help operators for people not to use only mobile internet, because in case there are breakdowns on towers, that would be problematic for the towers that are left. And of course, people use messengers, and we need to ensure access to different messengers. And we publish the information on the website of our administration, and we will also put information dashboards for people to understand the alternatives, how to get access to the internet, because providers, from the technical point of view, can ensure the capacity needed for all people to get access to the internet connection. We even received claims from people because during blackouts they were not able to download series that they wanted to watch. That's why we also have an awareness-raising campaign explaining to our citizens that there are some more important issues than series. But we should remember about the balance that in such difficult times we should be shoulder to shoulder, trying to understand each other, just not to have one person having a full HD series, but and others being not able to have access to messengers. So we're looking for alternative ways actually. So we involve partners, and we should find solutions together to overcome the challenges and to win. And can we expect the improving of the mobile internet during blackouts? Or should people download series beforehand? That would be great, actually. We've learned lessons from the last year. That's why we increased the number of websites of our basic network that will be operative during the blackout, and we have been focusing on the modernization and installment of this additional equipment will increase the possibility of getting services, because the amount of users for one basic station increased significantly during blackouts. So we tried to improve the coverage and improved the transmission of the basic stations. Installment of additional stations is not that cheap, as I understand. Do you plan to increase tariff for your users? At the moment, we have not been discussing that. We are buying a new equipment. What is the price of one station? The range is really huge, and just an average number. We can construct tower and spend 2-3 million. This is minimum, but we can have something for 500,000 for 1 million. But coming back to your question, what are the main problems? In the winter time, people take phones and start streaming, watching news, 4K videos. Like 6, 7, or 8 years ago, no one watched 4K videos on the mobile phones, but now it is very popular, but this is a significant burden on our network, so that's why our main task is to increase its capacity. And in our situation, it is important to use other operators providing optical connection, as it has already been mentioned. And remember, last year we discussed with that agreement on roaming. Well, all operators agreed that in case there is no connection, for example, through Vodafone, people could reconnect to Lifecell or switch to Kyivstar without paying additional money, and at least to make a phone call informing about possible problems. People get together at home. These are big areas with a huge number of users, but to ensure proper capacity, we should build 2-3 basic stations there. And now I would like to address to people. People do not allow us to construct these towers. People are afraid that this equipment, this connection is bad for their health. They say that 5G could kill a bird. And we need to inform people that this is not the case. That all of us use mobile, like smartphones, tablets, other devices. And the number of these devices is increasing, and we need to increase the number of basic stations, and they are not harmful for human health. But this is just to ensure our safety. And but we have now problems with the access to areas to install new basic stations, and it is very important for us to inform our citizens through your platform, through the regional administration, that we need to develop our network, but people should not expect any problems with their health. And sometimes there are superstitions among people, but this is the way of our development. Back then, the Odessa region perhaps suffered most because of blackouts. Can we make a conclusion now that all mobile network operators are focused on the Odessa region to avoid situations, the situation of last year? No, we can't say so, because there is the order signed and at the national level that all mobile network like operators should ensure at least 8-hour operation in case of emergency. That's why we take measures all over Ukraine, in all cities, towns, villages. But unfortunately, we are under attack, and Odessa is under attack from the missiles launched from the Crimean Peninsula, and perhaps we could allocate additional resources for Odessa. Have you faced any situations when the Russian occupiers attacked directly the mobile towers, not in the Odessa region, but that was the case in the Mykolaiv and the Kherson oblasts? And do you remember the situation with the TV station in the city of Kherson? The same was with our towers that they destroyed when they just fled. If you allow, I would like to add. On behalf of the military administration, we have been coordinating the activities of the military and also representatives of mobile network operators. So some equipment, some stations should be protected because they ensure connection at the coast. But we cannot share more details. But they are critical infrastructure facilities which are important for the military. And we understand why they protect those areas, because it is very important to preserve connection for our military to ensure smooth operations. And for the citizens, we can offer alternative Wi-Fi places in shelters, on the parking lots, where people can get access to the web. And we have some more questions. This is the question to mobile operators. Do you fight these spam, so to say, call centers? Could you just explain what do you mean? We know about those call centers involved in fraudulent activities, and quite often they use the numbers of the mobile network operators. And people are very frustrated. Of course, we cooperate with the law enforcement bodies. We have a lot of claims with regard to these cases, but it is regulated at the central level of our companies from HQs in Kiev. We collect information about such fraudulent activities. We transfer this information to the responsible people, and they check them, they switch them off, or provide this information to law enforcement bodies. And I have one question to Ivan. Do you have any negotiations with the European partners to ensure stable connection? As for additional basic stations, then this is the part of the planning of the mobile network operators. And we work on this directly with the operators. As for alternative sources of power, then, of course, we cooperate with international partners, in particular from Korea and from Japan, who offer the projects of alternative power supply, for example, using solar batteries. There are also European partners who understand that we potentially facing difficult conditions, provide generators that we disseminate with regard to needs, and the level of importance of critical infrastructure facilities. We are not on our own. We are supported by business, and we have trilateral cooperation. Business, our international partners, and we representatives of authorities. And we work together. And so we work here together with the mobile network operators, and with the support of international partners, we are looking for solutions. And we help to also to coordinate these activities. Thank you. And I'm really pleased to see that you are competitors, but you unite in difficult times to make your contribution in our victory over the Russian occupiers. Thank you very much for being with us today at Media Center Ukraine, Odessa. And this is the last briefing for today.